few different steps that you can take to drastically improve the quality of the leads that you generate online. This is all stuff that we've been testing ourselves over the years, and lately we've made some pretty good breakthroughs with some new types of funnels, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And then what would be cool is hopefully a few of you guys actually have some funnels, some landers, and we can actually go through after my 15 minutes or so where I'll chat about what we're doing, and then we can kind of give you some feedback on the landers that you have. So let me pull up my presentation here. Sorry, I was just finishing up another meeting here. Let me let a few more people in. All right, sweet. Does anyone here have a funnel that they want to put forward for at the end of? If you do, maybe just go and grab a link to it and put it in the chat, and then we can actually take a look at it afterwards. So yeah, if you're just showing up, just drop it in the chat now, and then I'd be happy to kind of do a little audit of each of your funnels if you have them, and we can kind of take a look at on one hand the conversion side of things, but then also the lead quality side as well. So be really curious to hear what niches you guys are in. In fact, comment your niche in the chat as well. If you have a niche, if you're trying to get leads for yourself, or you're trying to sell leads, or you have a marketing agency, put the niche that you're working in the chat, and you can do that alongside your landers as well if you like. Okay, let me find one more document here, and then I'm going to get started here, guys. Thanks for your patience. Question is, where did I put this document? I just made it. There it is. Okay. You see those niches, guys? Post away, or if you just completely new and you haven't chosen, feel free to put that there. Sean, he's from Leadbase Pro, so I've seen his ads. He's crushing it. Senior care. Sorry, people keep coming in. I'm just trying to let them in here. Admit. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick review of the system that we use here, or in terms of our kind of how we test things scientifically. So last call I went over testing ads, and this call I'm going to focus a bit more on how to test the funnel really, or the steps you can take in your funnel to increase your lead quality. And then I'll show you guys some examples of that. I kind of have an example brand that I'm always testing stuff with so that I can show you guys. And I've done some tests with life insurance where I'm actually delivering to a real client, where I've gotten real feedback from the client. And so I can show you some different anecdotes from that. Let me just make sure everyone is in here right now. Looks like we're good. Okay, so lead quality. We'll talk about the hierarchy of funnels today. So you guys could be in few different spots right now. One is you haven't generated any leads at all yet, which is totally cool. You may have started with a testing phase where you are using a lead form to capture the leads. You may or may not have, seen some good quality there. Some people use lead forms and that works for them. In a lot of cases, lead forms don't produce the best quality. By the way, can you guys hear me okay? Someone just wave to me. The only person I can see is Chris. Hi, Chris. Wave to me if you can hear me, or give me a thumbs up. Sweet, thanks, Tom. So you might have lead forms where, again, great for volume. I wouldn't say terrible quality, but not the best quality all the time from lead forms, because it's just people can autofill them. The audience that is targeted when you're running lead forms tends to not always be the highest quality audience. So you'll actually get a different audience with lead forms versus landing pages. And so lead forms are great for testing when you're running your testing phase, but long term, they often don't produce the high quality results you're looking for. For example, one of the first orders I ever did when I was selling leads was I had a client buy like 100 leads off of me, and I had already tested lead forms. I knew I was getting leads for like $10, and they bought leads for 50. I was like, this is going to be the easiest thing of my entire life. I was very excited. And, and I sent them these leads, and they're like, these are the worst things I've ever seen. And did not buy any more leads off of me. So I learned my lesson there very quickly and went on. This is in the timeshare space, timeshare exit space, where we actually had to do a pretty extensive funnel to generate high quality leads. And the biggest thing I learned was you could have the exact same person, Ryan Megdance, could go through a lead form and be a terrible quality lead, but then Ryan Megdance could go through a more comprehensive funnel where there's some friction and Ryan actually has to think about what he's doing and he could become a very good lead. So it's not necessarily the person that you're capturing, but how you're capturing them. Chris asks, can you define low quality, low connect rate and audience? Yeah, I would say most of the time it's going to be low connect rate, just because, again, a lot of times, I fill out a form and it autofills my information. One, if it's autofilling the information on lead forms, chances are it's my Hotmail from high school that I put in there, and or whatever my email was 10 years ago, might not be accurate, might be a wrong phone number. Plus, like, people that tend to autofill forms just fill out a bunch of forms. So I just find, most of the time when you're starting out, lead forms are just you're gonna have some kind of junk in there. And in terms of the audience, it's kind of anecdotal, but as far as I can tell, when you run a lead form campaign versus a landing page campaign, Facebook will target a different subset of people who are likely to fill out the lead form versus you target with a more extensive funnel or a website, fire. It would be people who are likely to fill out, a website form. So I do find there's plenty of Venn diagram there. But yeah, overall, lead forms tend to be lower quality, but again, are great for testing. And I hope it's okay. I just jumped right into this, guys. Just thought I'd just hit the ground running here. Feel free to type in the chat too if you have questions, like Chris. Be happy to stop and answer questions. A new feature on Meta is now that lead forms have SMS one-time password, so you can verify phone numbers. So this is kind of the next step that you can go to in terms of improving lead quality. This is recording. Yeah, we're good. This is a new feature that came out about a month ago. I've tested it myself, and the functionality of it works quite well. This, I think, is actually going to be quite a game changer, and I'll show you guys on this call. I'll go through some of my examples, and I'll show you what it looks like with the new lead forms, because you can basically force people not to autofill their information, and you can make them do this SMS one-time password. So instead of, again, autofilling my Hotmail from high school, which I think was the Ryman44@hotmail.com, which I do not use anymore, instead of autofilling that, they have to put in their current email, which is a huge, and phone number, which is a huge change. And then the one-time password, they have to get a text message to their phone, which across the board, anytime we implement that in a funnel, and we do that for every single funnel that we actually have, that makes just an crazy difference. And it makes a difference, especially when you start running a one-time, like an OTP funnel, and you lose half your leads because half of them are garbage or spam or wrong numbers. I mean, that's telling you, one, that your audience is maybe full of some spam, but two, it's that you've sorted out half of the garbage leads that were coming through. With people that have opted in with a one-time password are just going to be just much more high intent. So this is kind of the next thing that we can test. Has anyone tested the new SMS lead forms at all? Tom said, is there any place for lead form specific? Is there any place for lead form specific service niches? There are some people in life insurance in Leadbase Pro that are seeing success. So, I mean, and there's a couple people that have made it work. They have added custom questions. Now with insurance being in special category, that is being a little bit more limited. Okay, are you finding that? So do you guys find the special ad category you can't? Huh, interesting. No, I think I have an example of one that I just ran for insurance that's in special ad category that I did have the SMS verification on. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do that. So we'll take a look at it in a sec here. Okay, so Tom, fewer leads, but they're real, which is nice. Definitely. Any other anecdotes besides that, Tom, in terms of leads you're generating with? Besides obviously the real, do you find they're decent intent wise, and how much more has your lead cost gone up? if you're there, Tom. My client's still having trouble connecting. Okay, so you've got real leads, but still having trouble connecting. Okay. And AK, we'll check out my account, see if we can do special category and SMS verification. And Chris, I have not, since I may not have a connect issue, but rather an audience quality issue. That's my question about lead form audiences. Okay, interesting. Chris, and I'm fine to, we can jump into a bit of a mid video Q&A here. Chris, what do you mean by audience quality issue? Like you're getting leads that aren't like ready for your offer? Or what does that look like?
No, I mean, in our niche, we're looking for prospects that are looking to sell their property at a discount.
Right.
So they're not really in a compared to say a Google pay per click where somebody's actively looking for that solution. The motivation isn't there, and so then one of the things that I notice is when I myself see an ad that is for lead form, the feed very quickly within 10 minutes, I'll see a gazillion lead form ads.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was wondering, I wonder if the landing page will allow me to tap into a much different audience that because most of the competition is also using lead forms.
Right.
By being in a landing page, then would that give you a bit of a better advantage in their audience just because of the fact of the prospect and also the competition isn't using landing pages.
Yeah, I would say 100%. You're gonna you might pay more for lead at first on the landing page, but a lot of times you can actually get your landing page lead costs pretty similar to lead form because there's also less competition. In fact, we've consulted a few people where their lead form cost was like astronomical. When they went to a landing page, the cost actually came down because, and this is where I get this idea of different audiences being targeted lead form versus lander is if you run those two campaigns, a lot of times the CPMs are completely different. The results are completely different. So to me, it doesn't, even if you run the same ads, one's clicking to a lead form, one's clicking to a lander, you get completely different results. So that's where I kind of get I'm quite confident that they are quite different audiences. And so have you tested a lander yet, Chris? Or are you just still running lead forms solely?
No, I mean, we have done landers before with a quiz funnel and Google Maps API, for the address.
Right.
The challenge is just that for clients, it's easier for them to get up and running with lead forms because then if the landing page is more complexity required for the setup of that. And so then, but nowadays, because of the issues with lead quality, we might be forced to go in that direction.
Gotcha. So you're setting up a landing page for each client.
Well, right now our service is we set up campaigns for people and show them how to run them. And so now if we introduce a landing page with quiz that introduces, a lot more complexity and putting all that together, making sure it all works, etc. So we're trying to avoid that. But recently, my thought process has been that we might have to go that way.
Right, gotcha. And sorry, have you tried SMS on forums, Chris, or not yet?
It's been made available, but I have not, just simply because I just hadn't had the time to test it out. And then I was thinking about going for landing pages, and if I did, then I would negate that test.
Gotcha. I would try the SMS on forums first, just because it's an easy thing to try, and you could try it between clients. I mean, I think it will make a difference. Okay. In fact, I'm 100% confident it will make at least some improvement on lead quality. And then for the lander, you could just start with a pretty, generic, maybe not generic, but a template that could be just have a simple unbounce form that is replicable across clientele. And you could still have SMS verification on there with go high level or something. So you could try those out in steps. And I guess that's.
I was using Convertree. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
I think I've heard of it, yeah.
It's a landing page builder, is pretty fast. And then I was using the other service was leadcapture.io.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We have a couple people using that in Profit as well. We use Unbounce and LeadsHook, but I mean, most of them have pretty similar functionality as long as they load quickly. So I think, I would just try this. Adebayo just said he's tried the SMS on forums and the quality is better. Facebook is incentivized to make this better. They know that these have been garbage for a while. I think I think it's worth trying that.
Mhm.
You're gonna move on here to Tom just quickly, and then I'll keep moving on here. My client's still having trouble connecting. You're at a 12 with likely minimal follow-up. Sometimes the OTP option doesn't appear if you're using a lead form that you duplicated. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Meta is weird. Yeah, I mean, part of this could come down to, so if you're doing everything you can on your end and then your client's like, these leads suck, you should look into your client's follow-up system. Like my best clients call leads 20 times, and that's what it takes sometimes to get a hold of people because they're busy, their life is going on, all these things. And so I've even had leads, I don't know if I said this on the last training I did, but I'll sell round robin leads to one client, the same leads to the other. One client's like, these are the worst leads I've ever had. The other client's like, wow, these are amazing, give us more. And so the only difference there is the client. And it's just like if you go to eat at a restaurant, you go on Google Maps and you see 4.5 stars, and then you go to McDonald's and it's 3.83 stars. It's like, well, one of these places is higher quality and is going to, maybe that's not an apples to apples comparison, but you get the idea. Not every business is created equal. Not every business has, the best business will have great reviews and great sales process and all that stuff. If you sell leads to a mid-tier business, doesn't really matter how good your leads are sometimes, right? So that's important to consider if you're selling leads. And it's important to consider if you're the one closing the leads yourself. If you run a roofing business, what social proof do you have? What does your sales process look like? How many times are you calling the leads? Are you texting, emailing, calling? All these things obviously make a huge difference.
I actually have a question about that, if that's cool.
Yeah, go for it, Tom.
So on the call you were doing a little bit ago, I had to jump out early. But when I did, you were talking about the follow-up cadence for those leads. So like call them, basically as soon as you can the day they come in, and then if there's no connection the next day, and then I had to jump off and go do something else. Like I missed like the cadence after that.
Right. Let me pull it up actually. I'm redoing this right now because I'm filming some stuff on this. Let me see here. This one's a bit outdated, but it still would be useful. I'm going to share this in the chat. One sec. This is just like a kind of like starting point that you could go off of. This is like a very old document from some old branding that we had. I think just take this with a grain of salt. This is a good cadence, but I think the biggest thing that's missing here, and this is why we're redoing this, is, and I'll talk about this on this call as well, is having content that is like puts a face to the brand. Especially when you're selling leads, you can just be this faceless online lead gen brand. Or even if you have a business, like businesses that have the owner front and center, or some sort of like somebody front and center that like a human connection can be made, can be very valuable. So that's where, let me just make sure this loads here. That's what it could be improved on this. And this is like an older document. Yeah, so for example, that first text you send out, have a video of yourself, or recommend the client does that. It's like, hey, just on a job site right now, thanks for contacting us, Bob, couldn't get a hold of you. Hey, let me know when you're free. It's like that human connection is so much better than just like the text message blast that people usually get. Or, in the first email, send out like a listicle video of the top 5 things to consider when replacing your roof. And there's a couple pillars that we have there. One is, it's like trust, face, and following. So can you prove that, like why people should trust you? Do you have social proof? Put a face to it. Are you just a floating lead generation brand, or do you actually have real humans behind you? And then if you have a following, can you leverage that at all? Which you can't always do, which is fine, but there's ways you can kind of buy followers and likes and stuff too, if that's something you want to do. Not that that's, I think, the biggest needle mover. But yeah, check out that cadence thing there. Just like a decent starting point. Basically, at the end of the day, a lot of people call leads like twice and then they get bored. What I do with my clients is I help them implement a system where their salespeople are usually calling for the first 7 days. And at that point, I can't trust them to make calls after that because they have fresh leads. Then we have people that call the leads after 7 days, another 10 to 15 times. And then like even beyond that, it's like we have follow-up systems for 30, 60, 90 days. Because sometimes people fill out a form and then they get busy and they got a new job and this and that. 2 months later, if you're the one following up, I've heard time and time again of people like, you know, closing deals that come in like that. So anyways, that was a bit of a rant. Hope that's helpful, Tom. I'll be, like I said, doing some more content around that. Okay, so anyways, let's move through this. I can show you some actual examples. So lead forms with SMS and OTP. The next would be moving to a simple landing page. We like to use Unbounce. It's just so much better than, you know, a lot of people use go ahead level. Unbounce is just so much better. It loads way faster. If you put it into a website quality score checker thing, it'll get like 100%. Go high level will not get 100%. And I've just tried them against each other and it just converts better. So I like to use Unbounce, like a simple landing page. I'll go through an example of a lead form with OTP, a simple landing page, and then a more advanced funnel after this. These are pretty much like hand in hand. Like having a quiz versus a simple landing page doesn't necessarily improve quality, but with a quiz you can fit a lot more questions in. So that's where you could move from just a simple form to a more comprehensive quiz where you can ask more questions. Again, these are all just like step by step. If you want to scientifically, you know, you get to a landing page, quality's still not there. Go to a quiz, quality's still not there. I've asked, you know, 10 to 12 questions, and this has happened to us where we're asking, you know, 10 questions on the quiz, and we still find that, like, okay, there's still some sort of quality issue here. People are, for whatever, I don't know what people do and how they spend their time in this, but they go through the quiz and they still pick up the phone. They're like, I never filled out anything. And it's like, we literally have a trusted form visual recording of you doing it, but okay. We implement like a trusted form on every single page, which records every single user going through it. But still, if you're still seeing quality issues there, then you can move on to a new funnel that we've just been working on recently, and I will show you an example of this. We're calling it the evergreen funnel. You might have seen us post about some new training we have in Leadbase Pro about this. We have seen, sorry, let me let someone in here. We have seen huge increases in quality with this. Like literally, one of our clients' sales teams was complaining about quality, even though they had a decent sized form on a page, and they wanted just quantity. They're like, give us as many leads as you can get. Let's just push on the gas. And then their salespeople are like, oh, like no one's picking up the phone. People don't know what they're doing. You know, complaining, all this stuff. I'm like, well, you guys wanted us to go for volume, but hey, how about we just take a step back here and do a little bit more of a comprehensive funnel? I think I hinted about this in the last training as well, but now we've kind of developed it a little bit more. And we literally saw our client sales go straight up in the air because the leads just, again, Ryan Megdance, who fills out a lead form, you call him up and he's like, I never filled anything out, never talk to me again. Or Ryan that goes through a pre-sale page, maybe even watches a video that builds trust and puts a face to the brand. Then he clicks through to a quiz page, and then he has to answer the 12, you know, plus questions there, and then a thank you page with even more, you know, video content with a face, trust pilot, a listicle of all the, you know, offer stacking, the benefits that you have. Again, showing people the the kind of dream state that they want to be in. We can provide you with that. And again, this is all about friction. It's like every single one of these is like a friction point. Oh, that just disappears. You get the idea. It's a friction point that we want them to go through. And yes, every friction point puts can increase our lead cost over time. But if we do this right and we have people make micro commitments across this funnel, we shouldn't see too crazy of an increase in lead cost. Sorry guys, I'm losing my voice. I've been filming all day. So, and the way that looks is we have our ad. Our ad's focus is getting the click, right? So we have our ad here, whatever ad. Our ad's focus is not to say get a free consultation or hey, call us now. At least in the funnels we run, it's hey, click to see if you qualify. They click to see if they qualify. The pre-sale page really presses into their pain point, talks about where they are and why their life sucks, and then hey, you know, you might actually be able to fix that problem. Why don't you go see if you could fix that problem on the next page? Okay, we've got them to make another micro commitment. They go to the quiz page. The next friction point is like usually them starting the quiz. So we need a good reason for them to start the quiz. We would iterate in the title, take the assessment below to see if you qualify to fix this pain point in your life, whatever it is. They go through the quiz. The next friction point is asking for their phone number and their email. Hey, provide us with that information so that we can send you the specific solution to your pain point. We won't spam you. We won't sell this to 50 different people. We're just going to reach out if we need more information from you. Trust factor, yada, yada, yada. And then that would, that's when a lead obviously is submitted, and the job isn't done once you go to the thank you page. We want to keep them on this thank you page as long as possible. So if they come to the thank you page and they leave right away, and then your client or you call them 5 minutes later, again, people are funny and they already might be doing something else. But if we have a 5-minute video here with pictures of dogs and cats, which I have tried before, we have a reason for them to be on this page, and then they get the phone call when they're on this page. It makes a huge difference. And we've seen this directly make an impact on our lead quality. We can also have a calendar booking here, so they can just book directly in with you or the client. And a lot of times we'll have something like, and I'll show you an example of this. One more step, just book your, I'll be posting the recording at Abeo. If you need to duck out, no worries. We'll have like one more step, book your call with an expert. They help service people in your exact situation. So this is essentially what the flow looks like. I don't want to talk for too long, so I'm going to show you guys some examples of all this now. Give me 1 sec to pull up my Facebook account. Did I miss any other questions? I don't think we're good. Okay. So first thing, I've been messing around with some insurance stuff with this kind of different types of flow here. So one is, if you guys have seen, and this is special category, I think. Let me make sure. Oh, this one isn't. Okay, let's see if we can do special category and SMS verification, because AK said he couldn't do that. I'm curious. I actually jumped straight to a landing page for this campaign. I didn't use lead form because I've run a lot of insurance ads, but if you're starting out, you could just run, you could run to a lead form. So let's see if it allows us to. Yeah, I know. Okay. Got some ads in here. Work email. Believe they have it in the actual form where you ask for higher intent, require leads to verify their phone number with one-time passcode. So I'm pretty sure, AK, are you not seeing this? They used to have the SMS on the actual, like, not in the form. It was actually on the ad. Now it's in the form. I'm very new with limited budget and trying to run ads on my own leads and using junk forms. Oh, okay. Tried Facebook once and did not get any leads, so we're trying this new thing. Yeah, we can take a look at your form after as well. And David, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Hi, honey. You want to get something to eat?
Just gonna be. Yeah, David, this definitely. I mean, we have like you'll see in the free course that we have there. It's a step-by-step way to get started, especially if you are a beginner, because there's a lot of templates there. You can just start with lead forms. You don't have to you don't have to know how to code anything or do anything crazy. You can start with some pretty simple templates. You can watch the last live training I did on how to test ads. And we used to focus a lot on pay-per lead and teaching pay-per lead. Really, our focus in 2025 has shifted to how do we just help you guys generate the highest quality leads, regardless of where you're at. So whether you're selling leads, whether you're working with clients on retainer, or whether you're closing leads yourself, our goal is really just to focus on helping you with generating quality leads. But we do have training on how to sell leads as well.
Ryan, I was going to mention that in the ad setting, there's also, if you don't click it here, in the ad setting, there's a button that says that allows you to add SMS verification at that point too as well.
You mean on the actual ad?
Yeah, on the interface, yeah.
Right. They've been kind of moving that around recently. Let's take a look in a sec here. Do they have non-autofill? I feel like they changed this. Like, okay, pre-fill information. Okay, pre-fill information options are limited for ads. So maybe they do force you to do pre-fill, which is interesting. But you can at least do SMS verification here. I don't know why they wouldn't allow form fill. Previews. So I assume they're going to get. Let's just see what it does here. Car work email. Say you might have to do autofill. Has anyone else tried with special category and not had to do autofill? I don't understand the logic behind that. I'm not seeing the SMS verification on on this side of things, but it looks like they've moved it to, yeah, require leads to verify, higher intent, form delivery, rich creative, more volume. Looks like you might be limited to, but at least you can do SMS verification here. And then I mean, if they're autofilling their phone number, which is the most important piece, like their name's not going to be wrong from autofill. Maybe their email will, but at least their phone will have to be verified. But yeah, the issue with lead forms too is like with special ad categories, you can't ask any personal questions. So you're already going to be a little bit limited there. For housing, same for Chris. Like, you know, I think can you ask? I don't even believe you can ask address anymore, can you?
Yeah, we ask address, but we ask for what is the location. So we ask, instead of saying address, we say location, right. And I guess it's through it.
Right. You get, okay, interesting. I'm surprised they actually let you, but I mean, keep doing that if it lets you for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, so if you're not in special ad category, I know you are able to do, let's see if this one allowed me to, excuse me, it doesn't actually say. I feel like they change this every day. Anyways, go see what your lead forms look like. Everyone's account looks a little bit different based on what Facebook is rolling out. One person joining here. AK says Facebook says we cannot ask for personal info if it does. Yeah, for address, Texas instead of America. Yeah, so you have to be careful with lead forms. Once you're in special ad category, for me personally, I'm maybe testing lead forms just to get my creatives right, and then I'm moving to a lander in like ASAP. That's my philosophy. And for me too, like with our business, like even if I can get leads on a lead form and they're decent, I'm still like at the end of the day, a multi-step funnel is just it's like 99.9% of the time it's going to produce a higher quality lead. So that's what we personally do. Let's look at.
Are you looking for a if you're using lead forms and you switch to landing page or the funnel that you described, is there a expected increase number in terms of cost per lead, and is there an increase that you would say, well, maybe something is wrong here because I shouldn't see that big of an increase?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely varies based on the niche. I wonder if I have an specific example. I guess I didn't run lead forms here. I mean, for example, it all comes down to creative, really. Where is this one? Nova Scotia Lander. There should be leads there. That's weird. Okay, yeah. So, for example, these are going to a land. These are two different ads going to a lander. This is just like a much more clickbaity ad, and then this is which is another, I guess, topic around lead quality as well. This is like using some language like, hey, there's these new benefit packages you can get access to, which people see as like a government benefit free handout type thing. This lead is talking specifically about life insurance. So you can see this is one of the exact same lander and everything, but there's quite a big increase there. So you can get, super cheap leads on a lander. I didn't run this to a lead form, but yeah, I would expect when you're starting out, your lander might cost maybe like twice as much as a lead form, But a lot of times over time, you can optimize that lander to kind of come down in price and be quite similar to the lead form and cost. And I really just like if I run, let's say I run a lead form and my leads are $10 and I'm running a lander and I'm paying 30 per lead, let's just say. As long as I can prove that there's quality there, I'm confident, okay, I'm going to turn that 30 into like $20 eventually. I'm going to optimize this. So I'm not concerned about that. And maybe in this industry, leads sell for 30, let's say, in my example. But I would go to the client and I would say, hey, my leads are $50. And they'd be like, but leads are 30 in the industry. And I would say, yeah. And how's that going for you? You're having this conversation with me, so they must not be that great. We sell our leads for more because they close at a much higher rate. So, you know, that's just like going to differentiate you right away. It's actually going to differentiate you by having a higher lead cost going into that conversation, because then you can talk about quality and why you charge more, because there is the quality there. So that's, yeah, definitely, it's something to consider still, though, obviously, is, yeah, you will likely see an increase when you go to lander, not always. And then, in terms of like a cutoff of like, okay, my lander is definitely not working. I mean, if you're getting lead forms for 10 and your lander is like 90, then something's going wrong. You know, it just differs so much between industries. And that's why I think it makes sense to go from a lead form to a very simple lander, even something like this that you see on the screen here. I realize I might have just been sharing this the whole time. I probably was. Like something simple like this is like, it's not too extensive. It's one page. It's simple. If I go to a quiz, though, sometimes I find there's just more of like an opt-in, or more of an just for whatever reason, sometimes a quiz won't convert, and then it's like, okay, something's wrong. Is it that my headline isn't congruent with my ad? Is it that the first question of my quiz is too heavy of a hitter? I'm asking too personal of a question. There's a couple things to consider there. But anyways, let's move on, and so we can go through more Q&A here. Let's see, where are we? So that's a more simple lander. You could also have a quiz there as well. This is an example of evergreen funnel. Let's see. And again, this is the one that we're pretty much using across the board for all of our campaigns. There's two different versions of this. One is a simple, I guess not simple, but a text-based lander like this. Another one would be actually having like VSL right here below. Let me do it like this. A VSL would be right here, where you know, you have a talking head video, you go through a PowerPoint presentation, actually showing, you know, providing people some value and talking about you know, the specific plans, and that they're new and that they're exclusive and they're not going to be around forever. And hey, here's how you can, you know, save this much for retirement, or whatever kind of tip that you want to share with them. You can have a video of it, but we have, again, kind of start pre-selling this page here. We go through pressing into their pain point. They've been declined before, but this is like, here's the offer stack that we have. All these things are benefits to them. Kind of try to like get ahead of the objections that they might have. Oh, I don't want to do a medical exam. Oh, I got denied before. Oh, it takes forever to get approved. I think we could do a better job here of saying, like, you're not going to be called by 50 different people. Just one, you know, one company's going to call you and give you the right solution for your situation. And then you can dive, you know, even more into objection handling, social proof. Again, more social proof. Why trust us? Zero upfront costs. Our partners have many successful approvals from hard to insure people. Our partners are licensed and insured. And just stacking like crazy all these different benefits that somebody's going to get from going through this. And then have to, again, we don't have our quiz or whatever up here, which a lot of times we just have a quiz above the fold. Now they have to click through this page to check if they qualify, and this is where they would go to the quiz. I'm always split testing headlines on both of these pages as well to see what is kind of hooking people and incentivizing them to move forward. They can check if they qualify. This is a custom quiz built inside of Unbounce. You can also use LeadsHook. You could use leadcapture.io. You could use anything but Go High Level. Just don't use Go High Level. Doesn't work very good. Sorry, Go High Level. So you can go through, do you smoke? 32. How much coverage are you looking for? Again, this is more of an example page currently. But we go through the quiz, and then I'll show you an example of a thank you page as well. But really, again, this is kind of like, what's the, let's say we ask like 10 to 15 questions here. This is a pretty extensive process for somebody to go to. They're much more likely to remember filling this out, and like, as long as we don't have like win a free car by filling out the form below, as long as we're clear about what our offer is, there's a good chance they're actually incentivized by the offer and are interested in it, even if we're just interrupting their scrolling on Facebook. Let's go to this. This is a different thank you page. I might have showed you guys this last week as well, or last training. But this is usually the thank you page that I like to have after that. I want to keep them on the page. I order a shirt from Vistaprint for $20 of my brand, which is a different brand than the previous page, but you get the idea. Hey, like, you filled out the form. I just go over the steps, you complete, thanks for applying. Next is you want to book your free insurance chat. I'd have the calendar right here. And I would just talk a bit about the process. Hey, someone's going to be calling you, just one person. They're an expert at, life insurance for seniors in your area. They even live in your area. They're a real human being. If I could, I'd get a photo of the client and put him down here and say, Bob's going to be calling you. He's a family man. He's a great dude. He's helped 60 million people. He's the best. So just like pumping up the client a little bit, or yourself if you're, closing these for yourself. So that's what's working for us. That's what we've seen. So from lead form to, sorry guys, I'm literally losing my voice. From lead form to evergreen funnel, we see an increase in cost, about 30% lead cost increase, but our close rate is doubling or tripling from that. So you're paying 30% more, but you're closing 3 times more leads. Our clients are literally like, okay, well, we're willing to pay more for these leads because this is working. We're wasting a lot less time. Salespeople are happier, clients are happier. Yeah, and then from there you can actually focus on quantity. You can actually focus on scaling because you've got quality down. Now you can focus on actually, scaling this to the moon. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I had planned, I think. Let's go ahead. If you guys have any questions, you can pop them in the chat, or you can pop your funnel in the chat. It'd be cool to go review a few people's funnels. Let me see here. All right, where are we? Do you have media buyers? No, I actually don't. So I've always managed things myself. We do have like me and my business partner Ryan B, who you guys have potentially met before, and then in some of our niches, we actually do have some other partners that we work with the media buying side of things. But I personally, that's the one thing I haven't really delegated because I want to have full control of the ads. I want to be able to move and act quickly on the ads. And then Ryan B, same thing with landers. He's just so good at pumping out landers. But we also have so many templates in place that we kind of know exactly what to do. And we have like SOPs that make it pretty easy for us. Are you sharing an example of this in the paid community? Yes, we just launched a new, like, we call it the evergreen funnel method. We launched a new course on how to, develop your customer persona, how to focus on writing hooks that actually get people to convert, how to utilize. It's basically, here's a template, do this. Here's a template, do this. Here's a template, do this. So I think we've done a good job simplifying how to do this, all these steps here. And we have some examples of the actual funnels as well. I mean, you saw that example there, but yeah, got a 3-day-old ad campaign that has gotten some low-cost leads on a small budget. Curious how you'd move forward with it. Tom, what's your small budget?
So they've been doing like $50 a day on Facebook ads, split up into 5 ad sets, right? So like, I kind of actually hijacked this from your course. I just hopped in Canva, made my creative like a visual, and then turned it into a video. And the video, I kind of expected that the videos would crush relative to the still images,
Nice.
and they have. But let me dig deep real quick. So we've spent like 140 total across the 5 ad sets.
So is this $10 per ad set?
Yes.
Right.
Like per day. And so one of them has pulled 3 leads, one has pulled 1. So like not crazy on the total amount spent, but so the one that's got 3 is where's my CPL? It was like 9, and the one that has 1 is at like 28. So,
What niche is this again?
so these guys, they're a granite like fabricator and installer, right? So if somebody wants like a new kitchen countertop, they've got, full slabs on site and CNC machines to cut them custom, and then, they handle it all the way through install and preventive care.
Okay, nice. So you're just wondering how to scale that campaign, essentially?
Yeah, kind of. Like I have a pretty specific question. I mean, if you want, I can like share the screen and show you
Sure.
exactly. But give me one sec. I always do Zoom. Bear with me.
No worries. I can't figure out either.
Yeah. Okay. So you see that? Okay. Looks like it.
Yep.
So my CTRs aren't terrible. Okay, sorry. Here, let me show you. So 2, I kind of want to like pay attention to here. Can I highest to lowest? Cool. So I can show you the creative if you want, but basically, this one's got 3 for pretty cheap, and then this one's gotten 1 for not so cheap.
Yeah.
And my CTR on all of them is, I'm fairly new to ads. Like these are some of the first ones I've run that have gotten leads, for less than like 25, 30 bucks.
Okay.
So as far as I can tell, the CTRs are pretty good. Like everything I read is, like your creative's a piece of crap if it's under 2%, and these are all well above that.
So the only thing there, and I don't mean
Mhm.
to burst your
go.
bubble, is you want to be looking at the CTR link click-through rate, not the CTR all.
Yeah, well, and that's in the tank. So, and that I can't seem to break that. Like, I don't know.
That's, I think so. It's important to consider like, I mean, CTR all, that's still encouraging because people are clicking and obviously like looking at the ad. The link to click-through rate is did they make it into the lead form, which is kind of the most important metric. I mean, you have 1.45 and 1.29 there. It's funny that the 0.77 is one getting leads. I've definitely seen that before where that happens. But yeah, so the thing with like something like granite countertops is it's just going to be a bit more of a specific person that's looking for that. Whereas versus like, hey, anybody, do you want some life insurance? Like this is like,
Sure.
You own a home, can you afford granite countertops? Are you actually doing a reno? So that could just be something that you can you could probably improve that over time, just like messing around with targeting and training the algorithm a little bit.
Okay.
Like right now, it's probably trying to figure out like, hey, who are we looking for here? How do we find these people looking for granite countertops? So that's something that could improve over time. I think, and with the testing thing at phase, it's really just trying to figure out, what's the best CTR that I could get here. And I mean, 1.45 in the home services side of things is, I think, actually pretty solid.
Okay.
Obviously 0.77 isn't as strong, but it's getting leads, and that's really all that matters. You might find that's not as sustainable over time, and that lead cost could go up. But there is a couple guys on my other call that had like 0.5, 0.6 CTRs, and like they just kept getting leads. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, the people that are seeing it, your conversion rate on the landing page or the lead form side of things is really high, and it's just for whatever reason it's working. And sometimes it's a bit of a black box.
Okay. Let me ask a question. So, so I just started tinkering with lookalike audiences, and so I didn't really have any customer database from them, because they've got a handful of disparate systems that like anyone in the company only knows how to use like 1 or 2 of them really well, and so kind of conveying the importance of that to them so that they can get it to me quickly is kind of a pain. So, but I do manage like review requests for them. So I figured, oh yeah, well, I've at least got like 60 some odd customers. So I uploaded that as a lookalike audience, and it seems like it's working. So I guess what I'm curious is like, because they've been in business for forever, and I don't know exactly what their file keeping system is like, but I mean, even if I can get access to, the last year or so worth of clients, that'd probably be another 100 to 200. I guess I'm wondering, is like, do you think that's a big lever to pull?
It's definitely always worth testing. Sometimes find lookalike audience is either crush or just completely flop. So it's kind of something, you have to test, and 60 people usually isn't enough to get like a good enough lookalike audience, but if it's working, then that's great. I think don't they ask for a minimum of 100, or did it allow you to do 60?
And it let me do it just fine, or at least I
Okay.
didn't see any big red, warning flag.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they usually ask for that. But yeah, I mean, the more, if you had 200, that would be a good enough amount to try. And I think specifically again for this one, because the person you're looking for is pretty specific, the offer is pretty specific, it would be something where I would want to try lookalike audience.
Okay.
If this was mortgages and I had a huge giant audience that I could target, I wouldn't be as concerned, and I would go broad and just kind of let it do its thing. But yeah, in this case, you're a little bit more specific. So yeah, it's worth, if you can get a hold of that list, it's definitely worth trying for sure. You're just going to speed up your learning for sure, like by doing that.
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Keep the test going. I think, if you're seeing more leads come in through that top one, you could scale it by $2 a day. And if it's really becoming consistent, you could add it to its own campaign. You name it scaling. Maybe you make some like very slight tweaks or variants of those winning ads. Change the first line of the copy, change like the colors, change the hook, like the first hook of like the video or image or whatever it is. And then you can add those to an ad set where you can try and scale it a little bit more and start it at 20 or $30 on its own. And then, yeah, if you have any, in a couple days, feel free to DM me and let me know how the results are, and we can take a look.
Will do. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Tom. Burton and Matija asked, why don't you like Go High Level? I like Go High Level for automations and a lot of different things, but their landing pages don't convert very well. So their landing pages they load slow. Their quizzes look like garbage. Their editor isn't as intuitive. And so I find when people try using Go High Level, they just won't see conversions. Unbounce, it's so much easier to share templates with you guys. Our templates, like our funnels work. We've done like hundreds of thousands of leads on them. It loads way faster on Unbounce. It just works better. Like I've literally split tested a Go High Level, funnel that looks the same as my Unbounce funnel. Unbounce works better. So if the first thing you sign up for, like a lot of people, it's always people use Go High Level because everyone knows about it, but then it's not really the first thing you should be getting. In my opinion, it's Unbounce, because you could start like building a really strong funnel. Then down the road, you could get Go High Level for your automations, for email, for text. You could build AI bots in there. Like Go High Level is an amazing piece of software. It's kind of jack of all trades, master of some, but not landing pages. That's my experience. Chris, have you tried running shorts in demand gen campaigns to test quality? What do you mean by so you're just saying trying videos on demand gen?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of vertical videos, so I was just curious if you had tested, doing shorts, taking the same creative potentially from Facebook, bringing it into Google and testing it out in the shorts and seeing what the quality of those leads were.
Yeah, definitely. We spent a lot of money on Google Demand Gen. We run video and images on there, and that's pretty much the step that we take. Is we'll try testing something on Facebook, and then we'll take the winners and plug them into Demand Gen. Yeah, it tends to generate a higher quality lead than Facebook, but at a pretty similar cost. I would definitely recommend it because it's leveraging Google's search history and algorithm, which I think is more powerful than Facebook's. It sometimes can be finicky getting started. Like it can be hard to get it up and running, and it'll all of a sudden you'll put a $50 budget, it'll spend like $250 the first day, and you'll get no leads, and you're like, what the heck? That's just Google trying to learn, and over time it improves, and that's why it is best to go into demand gen with a win video from Facebook already for sure. But yeah, I definitely recommend demand gen.
Perfect, thank you.
No worries. Yeah, Tom, you can really easily integrate Unbounce with Go High Level. I think they have a native integration. You could just send your leads straight from Unbounce there. We use Unbounce with Leads Hook, and same thing. Leads Hook just shoots straight to Go High Level. So our setup is, because we're a lead seller, we have an Unbounce form with a lander in our evergreen funnel. There's a Leads Hook quiz LeadsHook sends the lead to Lead Prosper, which is our distribution software. That tells us which client the lead is going to get. It then dynamically loads the thank you page for that client that's buying the lead, so that the thank you page has that client's information on it. And then the lead is then sent to Go High Level for like automations and follow-ups and stuff like that. Yeah, that's worked pretty well for us, having that custom thank you page. That helps the handoff as well, as opposed to having like your brand and then your client calls and like, hey, it's Bob from Bob's roofing or whatever. And they're like, I didn't fill out anything for Bob's roofing. But if you have Bob's roofing on the thank you page, at least the client hopefully understands who's going to be calling them. Anyone else have a funnel or a landing page they want me to look at? Any other questions?
I have a question of you regarding Google Demand Gen. Do you find that with Facebook, many times we're able to start campaigns that are relatively low budget, especially if we're dealing with clients that have a low budget. Do you find that the budget requirements for Demand Gen are significantly higher just because of the learning curve with Google and doing its thing in order to find the right audience?
You can use the same strategy as Facebook, and you could start with like low ad group budgets to test out, like make sure that your CTRs look good. I would actually recommend that, because a lot of times with Demand Gen, there's all these like different check boxes all over the place, and a lot of times I forget to not check, display networks and all these other things, and sometimes you accidentally check on like use Google partners, and all of a sudden your CTR is like 20% and you're getting no conversions. You're like, what is going on here? So it's important to, like, you could do a little test at a low budget there. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much use the same strategy that we talk about on Facebook, and use a $30 budget on Demand Gen and just test with that, $20-30, just to see, am I getting clicks? What's the CTR? Get some initial stats. Hopefully get some initial leads. See, you can't use lead forms on there, obviously. So I think unless you spend $50K, and I personally haven't used those. So yeah, you have to make sure, obviously, your landing page converts, and hopefully you have that information from Facebook. You could keep it simple to start for Demand Gen. Just have a simple form. Again, just kind of have a minimum viable funnel to just make sure the traffic is going from Demand Gen to landing page and converting. Because I do find sometimes you'll run a Demand Gen campaign, and I've heard feedback from other people. They run their campaign, the CTR is like 2%, everything looks good, and 200 people go through and there's not a conversion. And so sometimes there's like some tweaking, because there's so many options for targeting. You have to tweak, sometimes to get the right audience, or for some, I don't know where the garbage audience or traffic comes from, but sometimes it takes some tweaking, because you can target URLs, you can target search keywords, you can target interest, you can target in-market audiences. So you have to kind of try those out. So.
And Performance Max, do you run Performance Max or no?
I have on and off. I find it, for me, for whatever reason, hasn't worked as well. We have a few campaigns Performance Max, but we prefer to run search and then Demand Gen, which Demand Gen is almost Performance Max in itself, but you get a little bit more control over what you're targeting. So it seems to be kind of hit and miss on Performance Max for us. But
okay, thank you.
No worries. All right. Okay, AK, this is my lead capture link I use from Job Forms, but I've not used it yet. Let me pull up both of these. So are you sending traffic to this, AK? I assume you are. So that, like, if you're just sending Facebook traffic to this, oh, sorry, are you there?
Yes.
So are you sending just Facebook traffic straight to this?
Yes. So whatever ad I'm gonna run for bikes insurance, I'm gonna send them here. I can add questions to it, like customize it. So I
Gotcha.
haven't got any luck yet. I ran one ad and I almost spent like $77, but didn't get any leads. I don't know why. I think I was running all over America first, and then I realized, and I changed to Texas, and then I was getting more views in New York than anything else. But So, but I didn't get any leads out of it. I was really bad.
Gotcha. No, I mean, it's still learning, right?
Yeah.
Just so the biggest thing with this page is it just doesn't look trustworthy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the problem is, and yeah, I'll be honest with you. I can send you if you DM me, I'll send you a template you can start from.
Okay.
Like you're probably better off just using Facebook lead forms, because maybe I'll send you some videos too that can help you, because there's a lot that you can change here, which I mean is the good thing is that you can make a lot of improvements here. So we don't really have, this isn't really a hook. Just saying life insurance quote form. Someone comes here and they're like, well, I don't really want to quote yet. Like they don't even really know. You just interrupted their scrolling and now they've gone to this page, right? Versus
So this page is on my website. I'm gonna send you my website, so
okay,
they can look at my website also. Let me
well,
put
so
that there.
so if you think or so take a look at my page here. So again, with this, I'm telling them exactly what they can access. I'm talking about who they are. If you're over the age of 55, here's the offer. You can get your family up to 50K. Check if I qualify. So versus just going to a page that says, free life insurance quote. These are people that don't know who you are. They have no idea what you're offering, and you kind of need to build up that trust. And you can't just send them to a forum that doesn't have any branding, doesn't have social proof, and all those types of things. So
yeah, you're right, absolutely. But if you see my website, that's the website. But I don't put the website there. I put the form. So you're right. I need to actually customize it. I get it.
Right. Yeah. So the site has more information, but we don't want to send clients directly to a website, because there's too many options for them, and people get decision fatigue very quickly. We want them to have one specific outcome or call to action. So you have one specific thing here, which is actually a good thing about this page. But we don't have, again, these people are coming from Facebook. We really need to incentivize them and get them excited about solving their problem, where we're not really doing that here. But
so where we need more of a landing page with all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, and again, you're competing with a very noisy market, right? So have hey, there's these new plans. They're not going to be around next year. If you're this age, you get this. Here's here's all your pain points, and here's how we're solving them. Yes, I want to see if I qualify. Make it easy for people to opt in. I would definitely recommend, if you can afford to, if you want to run landing pages, Unbounce again is the best option for that, and we can share some templates that you could use there. But I would just, if I were you right now, just start running Facebook lead forms with text verification. You're gonna have you're more likely to get leads there. And you can share your creatives with me if you want to. If you want to post them in the group and tag me, I can take a look at them to make sure they look good. But yeah, you just need to. Again, you don't want to give people any reason not to fill something out, and when they go to get a quote, yeah, I mean, I wish it was a bit more simple, but now because you're competing against 100 other people, we have to kind of have all those bells and whistles, right? So yeah, feel free to message me if you want me to review some of the creative or anything like that. Let me know.
All right, thank you.
No worries. Okay, and then we've got Matija. Is that how you pronounce your name? Apologies.
It's Matija, but close enough.
Matija, gotcha. Sorry, Matija. Should have known that. Okay, so Dubai. Okay. So this is.
So for context, this is property development projects in Dubai.
Gotcha. So we're gonna want to do this. Kind of the same problem that AK has here. Is you're sending people to a page, and we're not really selling people with this. This is hey, here's my contact information. But we need to put this into a flow that people can understand. Because again, if we give people any reason to, if we confuse them at all, or they don't know what's going on, or we haven't pressed into their pain point and then pre-sold them at all, it's not going to convert people. So let me see if I have an example that would be similar to this. me think here. I mean, let's just use this one because we have it here. I do have to run pretty quick, but so for example, instead of having, you know, again, you've got your photo, you've got a couple different images, you've got Sunset Bay 4 by images, and so this would be someone investing in buying one of these condos.
Yeah, they would be generally buying a condo, mostly for investment, for their own like self-use.
Gotcha. So first of all, there's not really like a headline here. There's a lot of information that's going to be confusing for people. So I would lead with something like this. We want to start by like really just getting people intrigued and like excited about this project. So, you know what? I do have some real estate developers pages. I'll send you some stuff. If you could DM me, we worked with a developer here in BC on like a pretty big project. So I should have some examples.
Awesome.
I would have something like, you know, my headline would be like brand new Dubai homes, and you want to split test this headline. You want to split test a bunch of different headlines here. You know, brand new homes in Dubai starting from X dollars. What are there like? What else do we have here that's? Oh shit! Sorry. We want to offer stack this. So.
So this is. Sorry, just for context, this is already a sub page of a specific project. Does it maybe make more sense to direct them directly to the home page where there was like more like a general headline?
The homepage, I would.
No. Click on the logo in the top left. This is the property developers website.
Here?
Yeah, here. So this is the more like general page.
Gotcha. I would want it to be specific for the project. So, okay, let's see. Here's the one. Yeah. Oh, I see. All projects.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. You'd want a landing page for each project for sure. So you want to be as specific as possible. So what I would do is I would think about, so these things right here, these are all pretty important. So like aspects of this, and let's think here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, give me one sec.
I'm going to change it.
Yeah. we have a like a custom GPT that we built for specifically for landing pages. So this information isn't bad, but on like the initial pre-sale page, like this should be something more like you know,
More prominent.
Fill out your information to check out the unit pricing. Like we don't even want to give them pricing yet. Or you know, sizing or whatever, installments. Like this is just too much information. So I would lead with you know, beach access, marinas, hotels and resorts. You could have the starting price, and developers always have that really low starting price to incentivize people. So, you know, beautiful beach access Dubai homes starting at, oh my God, $499,000. Can't believe it. Okay, so that's the starting thing. Access, this is the best investment ever. There's 2 golf courses, 86 resorts. We're stacking with our landing page, and then these are selling extremely fast. Part of the 2040 Urban Master Plan. Click below to get the information package now and claim your unit before they sell out fast. Whatever. So exclusivity, urgency. We're stacking all of the different benefits, the highlights. Again, we want to think of this landing page as like it's a salesperson on a page. Let's see. So I'll just use the ad copy one here, Leadbase copywriter, and we'll just, because we can kind of morph our ad copy to work for a lander as well. So this is this condos, I guess, I assume?
Yeah, condos.
What's the specific offer? Like, is there like something they're leading with in terms of, you know, starting price or?
So this area is more waterfront on an artificial island, so that's maybe something that's popping up.
part of a master plan, something community. I'm gonna plug that in after.
You can say Dubai Island community.
Who the F are we talking to? That's funny. And it's investors, right?
Yeah, it was investors.
Where's this going? Facebook. We have a landing page thing too that will like tear apart your landing page. Let's just see. Basically, these ads will give you a framework of how we need to structure this page, and we can structure it like I'll show you how to do this. But again, we want to lead with like what's the most enticing, benefit we're offering here. Again, waterfront, Dubai condos. If you're looking to invest in Dubai, this is it. These are going fast. Blah 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 blah. And then you can start to stack some of the benefits down here, but don't overcomplicate it. You speaking to these people at a 5th grade level, we want them to think like, I have money, this is a no-brainer. That's like we don't want them to have to read through too much information. And then yes, I'm ready to get the info package to claim my condo, whatever. It's exclusive. Damn, there's only 5 units left. You better frickin' hurry because these are selling. Yeah, so just some ideas here. Just some ideas. You blink and it's gone. The last piece of beachfront Dubai sold to someone Boulder. It's not just another comment. That's your last shot at owning 21 kilometers of certified beachfront inside the 2040 vision of Dubai itself. While most investors fight over dusty downtown flips, you're one decision away from direct beach access, 9 marinas, and 86 resort partnerships. You'll be watching from the sidelines while prices soar. So again, this is kind of a fear and consequence based. You need to be a millionaire to own a luxury Dubai real estate. BS. Truth. Sunset Bay. These are all just like templates that we've plugged into this GPT, but I'll send you these. Hopefully you get the idea is like we need to like press into people's fear or pain or they're going to miss out. And we have like some exclusive access and check this out. You need to have an actual page that is selling this better.
Yeah. So you think, let's say there's 3 projects that I'm selling for this developer. And maybe there is another project that might be a better fit for a specific buyer. Do I even show that, or do I just hide and focus on the one project that's being advertised?
I would have a different set of ads and landing pages for each
Different
project.
ads.
Yeah, 100%. We did 3 different projects for this developer. Let me see if I can find it quickly here. This isn't the best stuff. This is like 4 years ago, but I mean, you get the idea of what we're going for.
Any insights help.
I have access to this still. One sec. I might not actually have this. Oh no, I do. I mean, this isn't the best because they had some very specific things they wanted, and I would probably go with, I would use a structure more like this, but this is the one that we had. So again, homes starting from 340,000. Their campaign they were running was you pay, we pay. You pay 5% now and 5% in March 20, and we'll pay 5%. So a very specific offer. Again, maybe your offer is just that this is like the most exclusive freaking condo building of all time. That's what you're going to pay into. You do have pricing incentives. If you have, I mean, you had the deposits on there.
Yeah, there is a payment plan.
If this is like, I would have something. So you're paying 20% up front. So I don't know if that's in terms of Dubai real estate. I don't know if that's
pretty much standard. Yeah.
Pretty standard. So maybe you wouldn't lead with that. You could say don't fully pay till 2027. That could be a hook right there. You could ask ChatGPT to like build on some of those hooks too. Yeah. So this one we're kind of listing again. They wanted this lame language. Build your own nest, which is kind of hurt, but 1 bed starting from 340, 2 from 455. Save this much. No vacancy tax. We're stacking the offer here. We had to fight tooth and nail to like let them at least like do certain things.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, going from kind of more numbers based to emotional based. So build equity, flexible deposits, easy access. And this is really good pricing for Vancouver where I live. Like this is a strong pricing offer. That's what we led with. We've got the just more digestible snippets, right? So we do have the pricing, or we have the price range. Yeah, we actually do have the price range on the lender here, but it's further down. It's digestible chunks, right? Video, all that stuff. So you could do something like this, or you could have more of the evergreen funnel style. Again, you just need to make this more digestible and focused on like your offer needs to be front and center right at the top of the page. Like I should come here and like boom, waterfront condos selling fast, only 12 units remain or whatever. It's like don't miss out on this on access to the most exclusive blah 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 blah. And then sub headline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why this is the greatest thing of all time, and you're gonna miss out. So, anyways, hopefully that's helpful, man. If you want to morph it, like again, I do recommend Unbounce. If you go get Unbounce, I'll send you like a template you could start working with. So just shoot me a DM.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Okay, let's do Chris really quick here, and then I do have to run. National property buyer, get your cash offer today. What's the survey built on here, Chris? Oh, you're muted.
Leadcapture.io.
Oh, right, you told me that. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And what's the conversion rate on this page?
We were running it mostly on Google, and it was hovering around 20%.
Okay.
Which, my opinion, at 20% is good. Anything be like 10% would be bad, and 30% would be amazing. But
Right.
it was definitely converting.
Yeah, 20 is quite solid. Okay. I think it looks good. I think design-wise, it could be a little like it looks. I'm not gonna say scammy because obviously it's converting. I don't think it's scammy, but maybe like
Rudimentary. It looks rudimentary.
Yeah, a little bit. Like honestly, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
I think it could have a little bit just cleaner design and look a little bit more professional. I'm not a big fan of pop-ups. Personally, I haven't tested this super recently. I like 4 and 4 home sellers have requested an offer in the last 7 days. I do like that. I think your structure of your headlines is good. Get a cash offer home with a click of a button. Every hour, homeowner requests an offer from national property buyer. We are purchasing homes any condition. Yeah, like I like your use of sub headlines here. I'll use my mailbox.
I gotta clean that up but if you select, some of them have conditional formatting so that they kick you out. But if you select single family home, for example, that'll allow you to go through.
Right, makes sense.
And then so just to boot out the people that are not qualified.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone quickly here.
That's what I was running because Convertry is great. I mean, it's a very simple landing page builder, but it does, like, their templates are very lackluster. So you kind of have to start from scratch. So I did that page from scratch. So that's why I was looking at Unbounce just to see. But the challenge that we have is sometimes for our customers, sometimes they're budget constrained, and so for them this is more economical just because it's $99 a month. See, I think they changed something in the UI that messed around with the way that looks. So I have to work through that.
Yeah, I'm looking on my phone, and the sizes are all a little bit weird. So I would definitely.
Yeah, it looks all jacked up.
You said sorry. Convertry's $99 a month.
Yeah, $99 a month. Yeah.
Unbounce starts at that too.
Okay.
It's a bit more after a while, but I think if you use my code, it's like $80 for 3 months. I don't know, but I mean, you could use it and then refer your clients and get a kickback too. That wouldn't be huge or anything, but yeah, I just think the template you could start off with on Unbounce would be quite a bit stronger. I just think trustworthy. If you're seeing 20% conversion with this, I bet you could see like close to 30 with
the Unbounce. Yeah, I joined the paid community, so I was just looking at some of your templates. And so I'm not. I guess I'll look through them, and then would you recommend just using one of your templates, or maybe bringing this one into Unbounce and give it a bit more fit and polish?
Yeah, I think you could pretty much just. I think like in terms of the written content, it's strong. But then with Unbounce, what you can do is very easily split test. Split test a couple different versions of this headline. Like maybe you want to 25% each, like test a few different versions of this, and just mess around, like do a ton of split tests on all of these. Obviously, this is kind of the main headline. So how could you try different versions of that? But yeah, I think the written content is good. Just bringing it into like a more polished looking page would be good. Let's just check your. Just want to see how Convertry loads. This is like just a second can make such a big difference. I'll come back to that in a sec. But yeah, I mean, basically, that would be the one thing I changed. I think everything else does look pretty strong in terms of, yeah, like I said, the hook and the offer. I like this. I like this little diagram. It's fun. Pesky tenants. Yeah, like you have more information down here. I would personally, like I said, potentially have this click through to a different page just because it's easier to track. I'm not sure what leadcapture.io allows you to kind of see. I assume it lets you see how far they went down the quiz.
Yeah, it does have analytics to let you know how far they went down. I had initially had I had thought about doing a leads hook. At the time, their interface was a little bit. Oh wow! I tested that with another one, GT Metrics, but this one here got really low. That's interesting.
Yeah.
This
largest content, 3.4 seconds. Yeah, that's something to consider. That could make a big difference.
Yeah.
Because I put in an Unbounce page, it's 99 every single time.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see if I can prove it. Excuse me.
And do you find in general when you're doing lead gen that like you have the insurancy, and when you're doing that kind of flavor, more of a personality or a pseudo personality versus a more corporate feel, do you find that one works better than the other?
I think the personality. I mean, there's not really a way to perfectly split test, but I've found the personality. It worked best for us. I don't think it necessarily makes like an insane difference, but I think if you look too corporate, then you risk looking like everybody else.
Got it.
So here's you got about 99 performance. Accessibility, I think, is just an SEO thing. Okay, there's a few like tags and elements, but overall, it's not affecting the page load speed. This loads in 1.5 seconds, where yours was 3.5, which
makes a big difference. Yeah.
So you're just going to get more people. It might not improve because people, if it just loads too long, they'll just drop right out. So it'll either improve your conversion rate, but it might also improve just the amount of people that hit the page because they actually can see it long enough or whatever.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. If you guys want, I'll drop my Unbounce code in the chat here. I think you get 20% off. Oh, that didn't even work. Perfect. If you wouldn't mind using it, and if you do, just is this the right freaking link? Let's see if that works. I think I have my VPN on. It doesn't like it. Anyways, I will.
I could use the code in the community, right? I think you have it there.
Yeah, exactly. It's there.
All right, perfect. I appreciate you looking at the page. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Chris. No worries. Anyways, guys, I'm about 30 minutes over the time I said it would go, which is all good. Happy to review stuff. If you guys have anything, if you want to share a page with me, DM me. I'd be happy to look at it, and we'll do another one of these. I think Ryan's actually going to do one next month. So stay tuned for that, Ryan B. And there it is. Yeah, that link I sent should work. Yeah, appreciate you guys joining today. Thanks for following along, and we'll see you in the next one. I'll post a recording of this in the next little bit here. So thanks, guys. We'll talk to all of you soon. Bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.